I don't know, I think it got, I'm not really the best person to ask. You probably need to ask SS or Idris about that. Why it kind of slowed down and stopped. I think it was more a reflection of the scene. It kind of, looking in from the outside, I would have said it was probably getting quite expensive because, you know, transmitters was getting licked, DTI was coming, grabbing up things, taking them away. You know what I mean? I think one or two man got gripped by the DTI and they was trying to take man's records, and you know, it just got, you know, it just started to get a bit, you know, on top, let's say. You know what I mean? It started to get on top, and I think they kind of pulled the plug on it. I think then there was another radio station that started to do things towards the end of Fresh. I think GCR, if I remember rightly, that was with, I think Scully was responsible for that, if I remember rightly. Boy, you're really jogging my memory now, bruv. But yeah, I think it just started to filter out. You know, that kind of thing was starting to filter out. Well, from my own perspective, I was never going to divert from my style of music just to do stuff that was popular, because when hip-hop started to leave the popular consciousness of the youth at that time, hip-hop was starting to filter out, and the rave thing was starting to come in, the jungle, you know what I mean, the house kind of thing was starting to, you know, rise up in popularity, and I was never really part of that scene because I never loved the music enough to say I'm going to go and stand up in a jungle do all night. Music's okay, but I was into it, you know what I mean, like that. I wasn't into it like that, so I never really was part of that scene. And I remember seeing the transition of that from hip-hop being the thing into jungle being the thing, rave being the thing, and so on, you know what I mean? I'd seen that process, like I was saying, you went from the jams being ram to being half full to being empty, just a few man in there, a couple of brethren and the DJ, and not many other people, you know? But the people that was in there because they loved the music, you know what I mean? So you had some hardcore people still in these empty jams, you know what I mean? Because everyone was in the jungle dues or the rave dues or whatever, you know? The hip hop dues weren't ram no more, you know? And I could kind of see that process started to happen over the years, slowly started to dwindle away. Again, I didn't try to get into teaching, I kind of stumbled into it. I'd always been doing little bits and pieces in the community where doing music is concerned. And then I started to do a few bits and pieces for some of the arts companies that was starting to do music workshops for young people. And a guy I know that from a studio that me and DJ Yes and some of the other guys used to use back in the day, that was at Southfields College. The guys that used to run that, a guy called Chandy used to run that studio, and then a young guy started to work at that studio called Joe. Then when the Southfield studio closed down and they moved over to what was then called the International Youth House, and we started to record in there, doing a few bits and pieces in there. It was around that time that Joe started to work for Soft Touch Arts, and then he asked me if I would come in and do a couple of workshops with some young people in a referral unit that was in Evington back in the day. And so that's how I kind of, I mean, got into the teaching end of it, and I've been working in that field ever since. I've been working in that field now for about 25 years.